Greetings, Retro Zoltan here. I received another donation recently from one of my good friends and followers of the channel, and something I realize is that I've been joking around by listing a Dave I know for so long in the credits. I realize I should be thanking like 2 or 3 Daves. I probably should change that. Anyway, Dave, you know which Dave you are. Thank you, and let's see what I can do with this. Presenting the RetroBit Go Retro Portable. That's a mouthful. If you love these sort of things, you might have seen one of these on the shelf somewhere. I'm sometimes tempted, but I'm fairly sure these quick grab handheld gaming systems are probably going to be disappointing. A term that I've heard for the first time recently, sweatshop games, is pretty relevant here. There will most likely be a few games and the rest, well, will be the most forgettable games you'll ever encounter. RetroBits has been around a while, making consoles and accessories and that sort of thing. There are multiple flavors of this handheld, different versions, yet all the same form factor for the most part, but rocking different gaming licenses. The latest that I've seen online has been Mega Man 2, which is a pretty impressive title to have. Most of the more notable game properties pretty much have been sold off multiple times and making it to this handheld. Rest in peace, Data East. The box looks tantalizing, especially showing off a few icons such as the Peter Pepper from Burger Time and Tetris blocks. The box boasts over 250 exciting games, complete with screenshots. Opening the box provides the handheld itself and some good-looking color instructions. So far, so good. The handheld has a decent look to it, obviously looking like an original Game Boy, complete with a sticker over the screen showing one of my favorite retro games, Burger Time. The plastic has a decent feel to it, nothing sketchy anyway. The D-pad feels okay, but maybe a little too tight as I try some angles. It feels like the entire thing is pushing down instead of the parts I'm pushing, which has me on high alert. The AB and Turbo AB buttons are a bit too mushy in my opinion, but I do like how they made the turbo buttons indented and different, so if you're not looking at the buttons, you know which ones you're hitting. The start, select, and reset buttons are a nice rubber, and I have no complaints there. There is also a volume wheel, which is nice to see, especially on a system that probably has menu music. Why does this keep happening? It also has a headphone jack if you don't like the mono speaker sound, and an AV port, which is exciting to see, but since it doesn't come with an AV cable, I'm not sure how people can connect it to their TV. No joke, I even went to the website and they sell accessories, but nothing for the Go Retro system. Is this port fake? There's also a USB port, but it's only to power the device, not to recharge a battery in it. To make it truly portable, you must provide your own AAA batteries, but at least with this device, it'll last about 10 hours. It would be interesting if I put rechargeable batteries inside and plug it in, if it would recharge them. That would be a thing, but I'm guessing it's not built that way. Turning on the device doesn't seem too horrible. It's nice to not see a Chinese USA menu for once. The menu shows instead a featured games, and what I'm assuming are the less desirables under extra games. Choosing featured will immediately show you some notable games and others you may not have heard of. Some of these titles are actually decent, and I'm glad they're in alphabetical order, which is surprisingly an impressive thing for these sort of handhelds. All these appear to be NES titles, and I would say maybe half of them are okay. The ones in extra games, as expected, are lousy. Blob Man, for instance, I don't know, you're collecting blood drops from under the city? Green drops are bad and red drops make them happy? This is a bit horrifying and boring at the same time.
What the hell?
It's safe to say you won't recognize any of these titles. And to be fair, even RetroBit went out of their way to put them in their own location. If you're the type that likes to explore, though, these selections you'll find entertaining at least. Gameplay in general seems fine. I mean, it emulates the games just fine, but the controls are more lousy than I ever expected. I'm not sure if the D-pad just needs more wearing in, or the controls are just being janky, but it's pretty rough here. Angles aren't great, and even changing direction quickly can be awkward. Even playing Burger Time, getting off the ladder became way more difficult than I recall it ever being. It's okay, Peter Pepper. I know you're old, take your time. The screen looks okay, nothing special needed here if you're only going to emulate NES games. With that said, there's also no save feature for the games, so when you're sick of collecting blood drops or whatever, you just push the reset button and off you go again to the main menu. There's nothing to load, nothing to save, just a handful of games you may or may not like. And that's it really. Is it worth it to get one of these? This is a big maybe. If you're new to this sort of thing, it's not a horrible place to start if you want to start playing classic games on the go. And if you're nervous about legality, this is a safe bet also. They're all licensed. Still, you're only stuck with these titles, and you can't add more or anything, so it gets old real quick. If you're expecting to be adding your own or being able to download more or anything, that's not happening. Remember, it's just a cheap handheld. Which is probably the most important advice I have for this. These sort of systems, brand new on the shelf, can get up to $35 US, which is insanity. If you really want one, only grab it if you see it on clearance somewhere for around $10. Expect to see them everywhere. These are cheap treats, so treat them as such. And that's all I have to say about the RetroBit Go Retro Portable. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Thanks, Dave, again. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye.